Well, greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to Open Mic here on my YouTube channel. I'm, of course, your host, John Campea. Now, every day on the John Campea Show in the morning, that's our main movie news show. We save a little bit of time for some live questions, but here on Open Mic, that's all we do. We go like 45 minutes to an hour just of straight live open questions, and it's a good day. Today is a day that will be long remembered, in the words of Darth Vader. It has seen the end of MoviePass and the rise of the AMC service, but not only AMC, we found out Alamo Drafthouse is now going to test run their own subscription service. We know Cinemark's already doing theirs. Regal is sure to follow here pretty soon, but I did sign up for the AMC one today because, like I said, I live right up the street from an AMC theater. Signed up for it today. Took me a few tries. A couple times I tried to sign up and I got an error message a couple of times. I'm guessing their site is just getting bombarded, apparently, with people signing up for the new AMC A-List service. But I got myself signed up for it. It's you update the app, the AMC app on your phone, and now it's got all your upcoming movies, your reservations, and all this kind of stuff. I'm very excited to start using it. As a matter of fact, Ann and I are going out for dinner tonight, and we're going to be having dinner fairly close to the AMC theater, so I'm thinking maybe after we go dinner, we use our new AMC A-List pass and go over and watch Incredibles again. Like, I'm very excited about this new, and we can watch it in Prime. We can watch it in the Prime theater, which is something we could never do before. So this is very exciting. I'm all stoked up about it. But listen, we're not here about to talk about my topics. We're here to talk about your topics. So let's get things going. And we're going to get things started right now with Vinder Singh, who writes, have you ever seen the British comedy series Only Fools and Horses from the 80s? In my opinion, it's the best comedy series ever. If you only ever watch one episode, please watch season 2, episode 3, titled A Losing Streak. You know what? As a matter of fact, I have never seen this series. However, you, Vrinder, are not the first person to tell me about it. This is the one with David Jason, right? Well, let me just, hold on a second, let me bring this up. Horses. Yeah, it's the one with David Jason. You are not the first person to tell me about this series. Now, I'd never heard of this series till a couple of months ago, and somebody actually brought this series up to me, and they said, you really got to check this out. Because we were talking about, we were talking about Fawlty Towers, right? And it was in that conversation of Fawlty Towers that this person brought up this Fools and Horses. And I'm like, okay, I'll check it out someday. But so I have not seen it yet. But you, Vrinder, are not the first person to mention it to me. Discuss amongst yourselves in the chat board there. Have any of you guys seen this series? Is it as good as I'm hearing it is? Let me know your thoughts. Jump down to the comment section and let me know. And let me know if we should follow up Vrinder's suggestion here. Eddie Brunton writes, thoughts on the old sitcom Coach? I loved it. I saw a bunch of episodes. I remember liking it. I mean, Craig T. Nelson's great. And I remember liking it. And there was the big dude, the big blonde dude. I remember thinking he was really, what was his name? Lowell or something like that in the series. I thought that dude was pretty funny. But like, it's not one of those series that I ever went back and watched again and again. So I think I remember liking the series, but I never watched it like all the way through. And it doesn't like hold a special place in my heart, like say, oh, I don't know, a Wings does, or The Office, or Parks and Rec, or things like that. But I remember liking it. I do remember liking it. I just never went back and watched it a whole ton of times. Let's see. Patrick Conway writes, hope we get Daredevil Season 3 release announcement soon. Oh, I hope so too. Wash the terrible taste of Luke Cage Season 2 out of my mouth. Well, actually, Jessica Jones Season 2 and Luke Cage Season 2. You know, I put on my Twitter that it's now official for me. Netflix, Marvel, I mean, it was getting there anyway, but now it's totally true. The Netflix Marvel universe is now hit or miss. There was a time when it was awesome. Now for me, it's hit or miss at best. I mean, the 3 best seasons we've had are Daredevil Season 1 and 2 and Punisher. Defenders was pretty good. I like Defenders. But I have not liked Jessica Jones Season 1 or 2. I mean, the worst of them all was Iron Fist Season 1. That was just the worst. And then Luke Cage Season 1, the first half of Season 1 was pretty good. The second half, after they lost Cottonmouth, kind of became meh at best. And Luke Cage Season 2 is just terrible. I thought it was brutally unwatchable. Like, it was an effort. It's like, oh, I gotta watch another episode. Like, it was painful to watch it. So I hope they get their footing again, because right now, to me, the Marvel Cinematic Universe is, I'm no longer just excited about whatever the next Marvel Netflix show is. Just not, except for Daredevil. That's different. So here's hoping that we get another announcement here pretty soon. All right, let's move on here. Randall Cartwright writes, Won't You Be My Neighbor is easily the best superhero film of 2018. And you know what? To quote Obi-Wan Kenobi, depending on your point of view, it's true. Guys, I can't, it's difficult. Talking about a documentary is difficult. Because, I mean, almost by definition, everything in it is a spoiler, right? But, like, when they're talking to family, and they're going back to his roots, like to Pittsburgh and stuff when you just get the worldview that not only this man had, but he had a way of making you believe that everybody can look at the world this way. It's the type of movie that can change you. You know, good movies make you think differently, make you look at the world a little differently. Something remarkable changes you. And there's something about Won't You Be My Neighbor that changes you. So yeah, listen to Randall, everybody. Check out Won't You Be My Neighbor when you get the chance. Okay. Joseph A. Reinhard writes, any update on the Enchanted sequel, Disenchanted? You know what? No, I know nothing more about it. Let me look up here. I remember they announced that they were doing it. I remember that. I know they've got Adam Shankram is signed on to direct. Amy Adams is back. Patrick Dempsey is supposed to be back. I mean, at least he's rumored. James Marsden is rumored, but like I have heard nothing else. I heard like in January it might have been going into pre-production, but I have honestly heard nothing else. I'm not going to assume that it's been called off, but as of right now, I mean, I honestly have heard nothing more about it happening. Let's see. It's sort of semi-listed on IMDb right now, kind of as rumored, but not a lot. So no, I have no updates. I've heard nothing else about it since I heard back in January that it may be going into pre-production, and that's about the extent of it. So if I hear any more, I'll definitely let you guys know. Because that first Enchanted movie, let's call it what it is. It looked terrible. Like, it looked like throwaway at best. And it was a special... Somebody's like... Can you hear that? Somebody's mowing their lawn, like, right outside my window. You can probably hear that. Anyway, I'm sure they won't be there long. Where was I? Oh, yeah, and the first Enchanted did not look all that great. And it's wonderful. Like, it's a movie you just leave smiling, right? Like, I don't know why it took them this many years to think about doing a sequel, and it might actually be one of these cases of a little bit too little too late, but we'll have to find out. As soon as I hear any more news about it, I'll totally let you guys know. Patrick Conway writes, which is better, Cheers or Frasier? In my opinion, Cheers. Cheers, I mean, Frasier, of course, was a spin-off of Cheers, and Frasier was great. I love Frasier. There were a few seasons that were, but the same could be said of Cheers. There were a few seasons of Cheers in the later years that kind of went... You know, and Cheers was never as good after Shelley Long left. Not that Shelley Long was the reason for it being better. I'm not saying that at all, but there was something a little bit more charming and special about the show when Shelley Long was on there. And I still remember the final episode that Shelley Long was on when she was leaving the show, and she's walking out the door, and she was supposed to be coming back. Like the character was like, oh, I'll be back. And then when she walks out the door, Ted Danson's character looks at the door and he says, have a good life. Like very sincerely says, have a good life. And I remember because at the time it was Diane and what was Ted Danson's character's name in Cheers? Why am I forgetting his name? But it was, that, you know, I got to look it up. It's going to kill me if I don't know, because it was him and Diane. Diane was the name of the character that Shelley Long played. So Sam, it was Sam and Diane. That was it. Sam and Diane. Like that was before the term ship was ever around. It was Sam and Diane. That was the great, you know, rom-com romance on television. And when she left the show was still good after that, but it lost something. And then they brought in Kirstie Alley, and Kirstie Alley was great. but they just lost something, you know what I mean? But yeah, I will still take, as great as Frasier was, especially in a few of their seasons, I'll still take Cheers personally. Okay. Ben Kenobi writes, if Obi-Wan is in 9, like episode 9, there's a rumor going around. We talked about it on the John Campea show earlier today. There's a rumor going around that that Ewan McGregor and Obi-Wan Kenobi may be in Star Wars Episode 9. I doubt that it's true at all. It's a very, very flimsy rumor, but it was worth talking about. If Obi-Wan is in 9, does that raise the chances for a Kenobi movie, even if... I don't think so. If anything, it might actually lower the chances. Because it could mean, theoretically, and this is all theoretical, it could mean theoretically that any whispers and rumors about Ewan McGregor's involvement may not have been for an Obi-Wan movie at all. It may have always been about Episode 9. So, could he appear in Episode 9? Maybe. Could he appear in both Episode 9 and Obi-Wan movie? By the way, no Obi-Wan movie's ever been announced. So that's also a maybe. Could he just appear in an Obi-Wan movie? Maybe. Could he appear in none of it? Could there be no Obi-Wan movie, and could there be no Obi-Wan in Episode 9? That's also a strong possibility. So, but I would say, if anything, it would be a minute drop in chance. If Obi-Wan was in Episode 9, it would be a minuscule, however so slight, drop in the chances for an Obi-Wan movie, not increasing it. That's just kind of the way I see it. But again, it's all on like completely, this whole discussion is based on a complete flimsy rumor. Still fun to talk about, but just keep in mind it's based on a completely flimsy rumor. All right, let's move on here. Luna Comics writes, my favorite Batfleck moment is when he told Jimmy Kimmel, I will rip your bleep off. There are a number of really, really good Ben Affleck moments as Batman. The warehouse fight, gold. The fight with Superman. Look, say what you want. And I understand there are things about Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice that doesn't work. I understand that, yes. But I will always contend the actual fight between Batman and Superman was awesome. I loved it. I remember the first time I was watching it in theaters, and I was sitting there just soaking that fight up. I was loving every minor, minuscule detail of that fight. I just thrived in it. Just loved it. Easily my least favorite Ben Affleck as Batman moment is when Superman says, well, I know you didn't bring me back because you liked me. I don't not like you. Oh, God. Oh. It's like all the good that they did with the Batman character in Batman vs. Superman was just kind of thrown away. But anyway, but yeah, so either the warehouse scene or the actual fight with Superman is my favorite Batman, Ben Affleck Batman scene. Okay, Hector Jeter writes, upgraded my stubs to A-List. Good to know you only need to use the AMC app. I tested it out and felt nice seeing that $0 in the final checkout. Great day for film fans. Yeah, that's one of the great things is, actually I have my phone here, like while my mom's in the hospital, I'm keeping my phone by me at all times. The really nice thing, or one of the really neat things, is that, where did I put my AMC app? I need to find it here. Give me 1 second. Did I accidentally like delete my AMC app? No, there it is. Okay. The really nice thing is, instead of needing a card, because, you know, I remember signing up for MoviePass and I had to wait like 6 weeks for my card to show up. Some people, when Cinemia started to get more popular, some people experienced a big wait time for their card to show up. What's really, really cool is that there is no card needed for the AMC A-List app. All you need is your AMC app. You don't need a card. You just need your app. And reserve your ticket right there on the app, and that's it. You got your ticket now. You don't need to fumble with the card. You don't have to keep another plastic card in your wallet. You don't, no, just you know, your A-List membership connects in with your AMC app, and you just go ahead and book your movies, and voila. And if I go, here's a really neat thing too. So I go to My AMC, and right there at the top, it's got these 3 slots where here's your upcoming reserved movies. Now, I haven't booked any tickets, but when you book tickets for a movie, it'll keep them all listed there so you know which movies you've already booked yourself for and what you got coming up. I mean, it's just a great little service. I cannot wait to use this thing. And you're right. The advantage of not having to have a physical card, not having to use some third-party ticket app website, not having to go to the kiosk or the ticket counter at the movie theater. Just pick up your app, boom, boom, boom. Away you go, $0 for your ticket. It's brilliant. It's convenient. And I'm dying to start using it. I signed up for it this afternoon, and I am dying to start using it. All right, next one comes to us from Kevin Brown, who writes, the Venom trailer has more views than any Spider-Man trailer ever did. Thanos was many fans' favorite part of Infinity War. Loki, a beloved fan favorite. Are fans developing a greater appetite for quality villains? I don't think so. I think, honestly, I just think fans like good characters. I mean, that's it. Fans like good characters. Now, obviously, Venom is a character that a lot of people have been wanting to see on the screen for a long time. And a lot of people are very, even morbidly curious. Like, remember when 50 Shades, the sequel, 50 Shades, whatever the name of the sequel was, when that trailer came out, it broke the all-time record for most viewed trailer at the time. Not everybody went to go see the movie, but they were morbidly curious. I think a lot of people were very curious about that Venom trailer. With Thanos, he's a great character. Forget the label of good guy or bad guy. Thanos is a great character. This is a great character. And most of that movie is centered around him. Really, Infinity War is Thanos' movie in many ways. The movie's not about Thanos, but he is the central character of that movie. And Loki, look, yeah, Loki is, you know, I love Loki, beloved, but if you put out 2 movies tomorrow, a new Thor movie or a Loki movie, the Thor movie is going to make a lot more money. I don't think it's about that the audience is developing a taste for better villains. I think the audience just loves good characters. And for a long time, the MCU did not care about making good villains because that wasn't their priority. Their priority was making the movies about the heroes and the characters. And it has nothing to do with them being good guys or bad guys or somewhere in the middle. I just think they like good characters. Okay, Cameron Belgrade writes, what's your thoughts on the Tom Cruise film Oblivion? Did not like it. Wanted to like it. Did not like it at all. I honestly didn't think it was very good. And I remember when Live, Die, Repeat horseshit title movie, that other Tom Cruise one, they Live, Die, Tomorrow, for fuck's sakes. I mean, it was just a stupid title. They should have just kept the title, All You Need Is Kill. That was such a great title, and they got rid. Anyway, great movie, terrible title. Anyway, I remember when the first trailers for that movie came out, I said, it looks like it's Oblivion Part 2, and that's not a good thing, because I thought Oblivion was not so good. I really didn't. I thought its narrative was sloppy, never cared about the characters. This whole premise was, like, shaky at best. Like, and, you know, the movie has its fans. That's great. And I'm certainly not here to disparage anybody who does like the movie. Not at all. It's just, it certainly didn't work for me. That's all. It just didn't work for me, despite Morgan Freeman's presence in it. Donaldo Martinez writes, Doomsday versus Kratos. Who wins? Oh, that's no problem. Doomsday. Doomsday wins that. Because it's Doomsday. Doomsday the Unstoppable. Doomsday the dude that killed Superman. I mean, don't get me. I love me some God of War. And I love that character, Kratos. Kratos won the last 2 minutes against Doomsday. Yeah, that's a no-brainer. That one's a no-brainer. Let's see. Murray Reich writes, tried all day to sign up for AMC service, but both the app and site didn't allow me to purchase it. I've been on the phone with customer service twice today for updates, and it's basically a glitch / everybody's trying to sign up. Yeah, like I said, I'm not as bad as you, but I had the same experience this morning. I had to try a couple of times to sign up. And when I would get to the next step in signing up, it would go error. I'd say, Then I tried it again, error. And then it was either on my 3rd or 4th try that it went through. And fact checker Jonathan, he and I, because me and Jonathan and Ray, we have a Slack going. If you guys don't know what Slack is, I'm sure most of you know what Slack is. Anyway. So we had Slack messages going, and Jonathan's like, guys, I can't sign up for this AMC thing. And he was having the same experience. But again, then it ultimately did work for him, and he was able to sign up. But yeah, apparently they are just getting flooded today. Just flooded today with new people signing up, which is great. Because that means more people going to the movies. And that is something everybody should be happy about. More people going to the movies. All right. let's, so hopefully, Murray, hopefully, try later this evening when things die down, the big rush dies down, give it another shot later. Try the app, try it online, and you'll get through. I got through, fact checker Jonathan got through, you'll get through too. Damn it, AMC should pay me for hyping this thing up so much. Let's see. Oh, I had a little bit of a jump here. Give me a second. Okay, here we go. Next one comes to us from James Boner, who writes, Professor Marston and the Wonder Woman, such a good and thought-provoking film. I love that movie. Love it. Luke Evans. What's one of the most underrated actresses in the business? Rebecca Hall. Love Rebecca Hall. Love Rebecca Hall. I remember the first time, you guys might have heard me say the story before. I remember the first time I really took notice of Rebecca Hall. She was in a movie, a Woody Allen movie, called Vicky Cristina Barcelona. That was famous. They got everybody talking because the trailer said there was going to be a threesome in it with Javier Bardem, Scarlett Johansson, and Penelope Cruz. And sure enough, there was. And it's a hot, sexy movie. But Vicky Cristina Barcelona, the Vicky in that, is actually Rebecca Hall. And she wasn't on the posters. Like, she's probably the main character of the movie. And she's not on the posters or anything. And I understand why. They built it, the marketing around the sensuality of it all. And I get that. That's fine. But Rebecca Hall was in that. And I remember thinking, she is in a movie with Javier Bardem, who's amazing, Scarlett Johansson, who's an amazing actress, Penelope Cruz, who's an amazing actress, and to me, Rebecca Hall outshined them all. I remember that is when I became a huge fan of Rebecca Hall. And of course, she popped up in Iron Man. I think it was in Iron Man 3 she was in. She's been in a lot of good stuff. But then along comes this movie, Professor Marston and the Wonder Woman, that came out last year, about the dude that created the character of Wonder Woman and his true life story about this three-way romantic relationship between him, his wife, and one of his female students, and the three of them fall in love and blah, blah, blah. And it is, you're right, it is a thought-provoking movie. It challenges our mindsets about what is love, what is a traditional relationship, this, that, and the other thing. But it also gives a fascinating look at the origins of a lot of the elements of Wonder Woman. Like, where a lot of the elements of this great all-time classic comic book character, Wonder Woman, where a lot of her stuff came from might surprise you. And I thought it was a magnificent movie. I adored that movie. It was one of my most highly recommended movies that year. I think it's fantastic. It's not an action film. It's not like a comedy, but it's a really gripping story about people. And if you get a chance to check it out, by all means. The third person in that relationship was an actress by the name of Bella Heathcote. I don't remember her from a lot else. Oh, she was in The Neon Demon. I forgot about that. She's been in other things, but I don't remember her in other. Like, she was in Time with Justin Timberlake, but I don't remember her in it. She was in Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies, which I also got a big kick out of, but I don't remember her in it. But anyway, if you get a chance to check out that movie, Professor Marston and the Wonder Woman, really good movie. Check it out if you get a chance. All right. Ben Kenobi writes, A-List tip, try doing it on laptop, then update the app. Yeah, I found that after I updated my app, I had better luck. So that's good. Try both on the website to sign up for it and try on your app. Make sure you update your AMC app, like go to your Google Play Store or whatever your Apple equivalent is called. Make sure the app is updated. Give it a shot and you should have a better shot at it, I think. I hope, at any rate. Okay, next one comes to us from Factual Opinion, who writes, that scene in Fallen Kingdom, when Blue saw gas leaking and jumped out the window with the explosion behind her like an action hero, was funny to me. Well, you know what, Factual Opinion, it's fine that you wrote that. I'm not really going to comment on it too much because it goes into details of a movie that a lot of people haven't seen yet. So I can't comment on that. I appreciate you writing in, but obviously I hope you understand I can't comment on anything like that. Murray Reich writes, MoviePass, I told you that we were going to beat you. AMC, you should have gone for the head. Well, I mean, here's the thing. There's this theory floating around out there that the reason that the reason AMC is doing this subscription service is to put MoviePass out of business. And that's not true. Why isn't it true? Because AMC didn't need to do anything to put MoviePass out of business. Hey, MoviePass was going out of business anyway. I mean, we've been watching the news. Their stock went from $38 a share all the way down to 33 cents per share. Look it up. I'm not exaggerating. All the Wall Street reports about they barely have enough finances in the banks to stay liquid. I mean, this company's going out of business anyway. AMC didn't have to lift a finger to try to put MoviePass out of business. That's like, there's a guy in the terminal wing of the hospital and he's dying. He's got less than 24 hours to live. And you paying $1 million for a hitman to go and kill the guy. Well, why? The guy's going to be dead in the next 24 hours. What's the point of hiring a hitman to kill a guy who's going to be dead in the next 24 hours? And that was the thing. So no, AMC did not do this to try to put MoviePass out of business. MoviePass was dying anyway. AMC just recognized this is a way to make the movie-going public and the movie-going industry and the movie-going experience better. And if it's better, it'll make money for everybody. So they recognize that and they're doing their own thing because it's more sustainable when they do it on their own, all that kind of stuff. They're in control of the whole scenario. They can control what the ticket prices are. They can control, like, it's just far more sustainable. And that's why they did it. So anyway, Kevin Laniel writes, given how you clearly hate Ant-Man and the Wasp, is it time for the MCU to reboot? Much love. Wish we had AMC here in Canada. You know what really sucks? There used to be an AMC in Canada. AMC used to have a couple theaters in Canada. And like the one, I think, the big theater that's in Toronto, I think it was called the Scotiabank Center. Right down in downtown Toronto, that big main theater. I think it's called something else. Anyway, that used to be an AMC. And it's funny because the last time I was there, it's funny because they still had the AMC carpeting in. They still had the AMC colors on the wall, like no AMC logos. But it's funny, and there used to be one, I think, in Kitchener. I think there used to be an AMC. Anyway, they did try expanding into Canada, but for some reason it didn't work, and they went out, so whatever. But yeah, I wish there was too. And yes, he's being facetious. I quite like Ant-Man and the Wasp. I just don't think it's quite as good as the first one. But you guys know how much I love the first one. Like, I just freaking went bananas for the first one. This one's very good. It's very good. And a lot of people, especially the critics, seem to like it more than I do, which is fine. I just happen to think the first one's better. But by no means do I dislike this movie. I think it's very good. I'm encouraging everybody to go see it. It's really fun. But yeah, I just happen to prefer the first one. That's all. Orange Grove 55 just sends in a super chat. Thank you so much, Orange Grove. Chris Parker writes, with MoviePass and Cinemia, an actual ticket was purchased. AMC with A-List can absorb that price internally. So how will this be accounted for when tallying box office grosses for a movie? I think you meant, will we see impact in totals? Well, here's how it works. When I buy a ticket through my AMC A-List, AMC counts that as a movie ticket being purchased for $8.99. Now, the national average movie ticket cost in 2017 was like $9.47. That's the cost of an average movie ticket in America. So this $8.99 is just a few cents underneath what the national average is for a ticket. Now, that means in places like Los Angeles, where I live, where the average movie ticket price can be as high as $15 for just a regular movie. Forget 3D or Prime or anything, or IMAX or anything like that. Just a regular movie ticket can cost $14, $15. That's significantly lower. But then again, there are other places in the US where you can buy a ticket for $6, $7. This will be higher. So AMC, the way it's being accounted is that when I buy and when you buy a ticket with your A-List, AMC counts it as a purchase of $8.99. Then they report, for box office purposes, the $8.99, and they split revenue with the movie studios accordingly. So that's how it's going to be computed. Now, will that affect box office? Well, not really. Again, the national average cost of a movie ticket is $9.49 or 47 cents. It may have gone up a little bit since last year, but not much. So it's really not going to affect it that much overall. Will it affect it more in New York and Los Angeles? Yes, but then that gets averaged out over the widespread. Plus, any negative effects are going to be countered by the fact that people are going to go to the movies more now, which means more money for everybody. What do you want? A person going to a movie once this month for $13 a ticket? Or a person going to the movies 3 times this month for $9 a ticket each? Well, let's see. One gets you $13 in revenue. One gets you $27 in revenue. Ah! So yeah, any minor negative effects to box office or things like that that might be incurred because of that $8.99 price line that AMC's valuing their tickets at is easily compensated for by the fact that you're going to get people going to more movies. That's the genius of this. For too long, the movie theater industry, listen to me preach. For too long, the movie theater industry has focused its attention on how to squeeze more money out of you and me, the people who are faithfully still going to the movies, all while less and less people go. While less and less people go to the movies every year, they've put their attention on you and me and how to just get more money out of us. When what they should have been doing is putting their attention to what can we do to get more people back into the movie theater. Because the more people in the movie theaters, the more revenue you're gonna make. And this is our first sign, now that Cinemark's doing this, Alamo Draft House, you say, AMC Theaters, you know that Regal's about to do it as well. It's finally time that the movie theater industry is going, you know what? Instead of squeezing a few extra bucks out of dumbass John over there who keeps coming to the movies no matter how much it costs, let's try to get more people to come. How's that for an idea? I mean, so... Yes, but anyway, that's basically how it works, Chris. I'm sure I confused the issue more, but I hope I clarified it a little bit in all my ranting there. Let's see. Barth Revan writes, Barth Revan writes, just finished Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2. Given the strikes on the names during the end credits and no stroke over bills, I can see why some people may want a 3, but I personally don't see the need. What are your thoughts? Oh, no, it doesn't need a 3. Now, don't get me wrong. I love the characters and all that kind of stuff. So if for whatever reason, if Oliver Stone suddenly completely changed his personality and totally changed his mind and decided to go back and do a Kill Bill Volume 3, I'm all for it. I'll watch it, absolutely. But if you're going to ask me, just as an independent audience member, do I care about seeing a Kill Bill Volume 3? Not really. The first 2 were fine. And you know what? I'm in the minority. I know a lot of people like Kill Bill Volume 2 more than 1. I wasn't a huge fan of Kill Bill Volume 2. I liked it, but I wasn't a huge fan of it. Not like I was of Kill Bill Volume 1. So I might be the wrong person to ask, but nah, I mean, for me personally, I don't care to see a Kill Bill Volume 3, but if Quentin Tarantino wanted to do one, sure, I'll be there to watch it. But if you're going to ask me, do I think they should do it? Nah, I don't think they should. Let's see. Van Sensei writes, tell us about the future, you time traveler. The future is a glorious place where I am covered in head to toe in glorious jewels and fine linens from around the world, where Jennifer Garner is my personal masseuse. And I'm not really saying that's the real future, maybe just something that I kind of like seeing in the future. I don't know. Let's see. Orange 55 writes, Disney-Fox merger caused budget cuts in the park. Well, we already know that Disney has had to tighten their belt already. Like, if Comcast can still put in a higher bid. I don't think they should. I think they're overvaluing Fox already. And I think they've already forced Disney to spend $20 billion more than Disney wanted to spend, so they can probably take that as a win. And Disney at $21.3 billion, they're overpaying. Disney's overpaying for Fox, but whatever. If they get it, we already know this. Disney was getting ready. They had announced that they were going to do like a $20 billion stock buyback. Because, you know, stock is owned by everybody, right? Like whoever wants to own stock can own stock. Disney had this plan for a stock buyback, which is to buy back $20 billion worth of stock so they can have more central control and power over the company. That's gone. That's gone. They've already kind of announced that that's now out the window. They're not doing their buyback program anymore. They simply can't afford it. They can't afford it. Now, will this have ramifications on other areas? It may. Look, the Disney market cap, the cap market value for Disney is around $150 billion, okay? Around $150 billion, in that area. If this bid goes through for 71.3, that is nearly half of the company's worth. Gone. Half of their liquid value gone. Just like that. It's hard to imagine that aside from canceling the $20 billion stock buyback option, it's hard to imagine that there won't be other areas and other ways that we may see Disney needing to tighten their belt a little bit. Maybe we'll see it and it'll be visible to us. Maybe it'll be done in certain ways that we in the public will never see. I don't know. Could the parks be part of that? They could be. They might be, but I simply don't know. Again, they're going to make cuts. They're going to tighten the belt to make up for suddenly hemorrhaging out $71.3 billion. However, it might be done in such a way that we never visibly see on the surface. Maybe just only internally they'll know it, but who knows? We're going to just have to wait and see. But you can't suddenly cut a $71 billion check and not have it affect you. It's going to affect them. That is no doubt. Let's see. Hector Jeter writes, you ever see Forensic Files? Love that series. You know what? No, I haven't. I've never seen it. But you know who loves that crap? My friend Kaori. You guys have seen Kaori Takei. She's over here all the time, but she's also like, she loves these true crime, murder, like types of series. She's like all about them. She's always talking about them. So, well, I have never seen Forensic Files. Next time I have Kaori on the show, which might be soon, by the way, ask her, because I guarantee you she's probably not only aware of the show, she's probably seen every single episode and memorized every one. She just adores those things. But I myself, personally, I've never actually seen it myself. Let's see. Barth Revan writes, you say that every director, even Spielberg, has a bad day at the office. That's true. What was Tarantino's bad day at the office? I thought Hateful Eight was not so good. I think there are some people who like it. And then I think there are some people who say they like it, but probably really don't. But they just like, but it's Tarantino, so I'm supposed to like it. I honestly thought Hateful Eight was not good. Hold on a second, let me look it up. Because I think the critic ratings were actually were pretty solid for it. Let me just double check here. I'm pretty sure the critic ratings were pretty good for it. Hateful Eight, it's got a 74. That's solid. 74 is a good number. 74 is a solid critic number. Not as high as you would expect for a Quentin Tarantino movie. And I honestly, quite frankly, did not think it was good. I thought it was kind of a sloppy movie, to be honest with you. I think Tarantino was so romanced by the idea, oh, I'm going to shoot it with these classic lenses and I'm going to do this in it and do this. He kind of forgot just to make a good movie. But hey, every director has a bad day at the office. Spielberg's had a bad day at the office. Tarantino's had a bad day at the office. I think Christopher Nolan's had a bad day at the office. Every director has a bad day at the office. Everyone has a bad day at the office. I think Hateful Eight was probably Tarantino's. That's just my opinion. I'm sure there's some people that love the movie, which is great. All due respect. Just for me, it's the one Tarantino movie that I've said, hey, if you can erase one movie from existence that's Tarantino's, which would it be? Oh, Hateful Eight. Just wipe that out. Okay, let's see here. BMX Nation 540 writes, who is your favorite MCU character? Like in the movie universe, MCU, that's pretty easy. That'll be Captain America. Which is funny because before the MCU, like Captain America, not even in my top 10 favorite comic book characters. But in the MCU, the Captain America they've given us in the MCU, my favorite character in the MCU. By far. That's why, like, I remember when that trailer for Infinity War came out. And it had, you know, Thanos bringing the hand down and Captain America holding off his hand and Thanos looking confused. I had to be wearing white pants. Let's just put it that way. I just joygasm, man. Just pure joygasm. I just got, because they've made Captain America my favorite character in the MCU. I think the entire MCU needs to be built around Captain America. And in many ways it is. But yeah, Captain America is my favorite character in the MCU. Let's see here. Race Reactor Gaming writes, thoughts on Brian Woods and Scott Beck writing Stephen King's The Boogeyman adaptation? You know what? I barely heard about that. Hold on a second. Yeah, I heard about it. That's right, because they were actually, at least I know Brian was. No, both of them were. Brian Woods and Scott Beck both worked on Quiet Place with John Krasinski. It's hard to say because I am not terribly familiar with the other work they've done. Like, I saw this one short film that he did called Impulse, but, you know, whatever. I haven't really heard anything else. So they worked on Quiet Place, which is great. I heard something, but I don't even think that Boogeyman thing is like a lock by any stretch of the imagination. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend to know more about the story than I do. I barely heard about it. I think I might even be not remembering it correctly, but, hey, I mean, they worked on the A Quiet Place, which I think is the best film of the year so far. Like over Incredibles 2, over Infinity War, over all that stuff, I think the best film of the year is A Quiet Place. And they worked on that, but nothing really else of note. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. And it seems to be all the hot rage right now to adapt Stephen King stuff. Let's see. Murray Reich writes, did you see Upgrade yet? Nope. Still the one movie. I finally got around to seeing Hereditary. Didn't get around to seeing Upgrade. The other night, I was like, I think I can go check a film tonight. And it wasn't at the theater that I wanted to go to anymore. So I'm just going to have to wait till it's available on video. I missed the boat on it completely. It's just, that happens sometimes. Now, somebody might say, well, why did you go see Hereditary and not Upgrade? I think just because Hereditary was making more impact. I think more people were talking about Hereditary, and I had to make sure I saw it because I was behind. I saw Hereditary late as well. And I remember when I was going to see it, I had to make a decision. Am I going to go see Hereditary or am I going to go see Upgrade? I decided to see Hereditary, and then I never got a chance to see Upgrade. Then when I was thinking about going to go see it, it wasn't in the theater anymore. So I'm like, oh well, missed out. I'm just going to have to do it another time. So nope, I did not see it, and I'm probably not going to see it now for probably another month or two until it becomes a released on home video, unfortunately. Warrington Trainspotter 2778 writes, hey John, love the show. Thank you so much. Do you think Conor McGregor is finished with the UFC, or do you think he will return to the octagon sometime soon? Conor McGregor can rot in hell for as far as I care. Everybody knows I was a huge fan of Conor McGregor. That little stunt he pulled with throwing that crap at bus windows with women on board, people's faces getting cut up because of broken glass. He could have killed somebody. All for a publicity stunt. Fuck Conor McGregor. I was a huge fan of his. Huge. Personally, I mean, look, he's money, so the UFC will let him fight, sure, because he's going to make the money. I get it. I'm not watching any fight that he's in anymore. Fuck that guy. Thinking he's better and more important than everybody else because he's got a lot of money in his wallet. Fuck that guy. I have no more time for that dude. He could have killed somebody. And he did. He put somebody in the hospital because of that whole little riot that he... For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, you can just look it up. Organize a bunch of freaking losers to go running down, like throwing chairs and throwing stuff at a bus that had a bunch of people on it. And like the broken glass sent one guy to the hospital, and like it terrified. There was one particular woman on the bus, Rose, and like she was just completely traumatized by the thing. She just had to walk it off, go back to her. Like, no respect for a little pussy like that. No respect. Conor McGregor is a fucking loser. I have no interest in him anymore. The guy can rot in hell. I just, no way. He could have killed somebody, all for his freaking little ego. Anyway, I get really worked up over that. And it's just, which is the thing that makes me most upset is I spent years being such a big fan of his and cheering him and buying all the pay-per-views and blood. Just like, Conor, 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 Conor. And when he did that, I'm like, that guy can fuck right off. I just want nothing to do with him. I have absolutely no doubt he'll fight in the UFC again. There's just too much money to be made. So they'll do it, but I am not watching any fight that he's a part of ever again. The guy's an asshole. Family Guy 204 writes, thoughts on LeBron not winning MVP? Well, it's a joke. I mean, everybody knows. Ask any NBA player, ask any NBA commentator. LeBron James is the best player in the world, and he has been for 15 years. Everybody knows it. But it's kind of like, you know, there were a couple of years that like LeBron, you know, Kobe only has won the MVP once. And like, I'm not a Kobe fan. And even I know that's a joke. He at least should have, I remember one year in particular, he should have won it, and he didn't. But hey, whatever. The NBA wanted to spread the love around. I get it. LeBron's got 3 MVPs. He should have 6 or 7 or 8. But it doesn't matter. I mean, he's cemented his legacy. He is the greatest player in the world. Whether he'll end his career as the greatest player of all time is yet to be. Like, if he ends his career today, I say he's not. But if he doesn't end his career today and he ends it in like say 5 or 6 years, we'll have to evaluate whether he's the greatest of all time. Right now, he's not. But he knows that, and he doesn't need even more trophies on his mantle to prove it. DC Patience writes, Disney streaming, besides Star Wars, think they'll have an incredible series? I hope not. To me, it really cheapens a property when you just throw it out to be an animated series all of a sudden. They did that with How to Train Your Dragon. They did an animated series of it, and it just cheapened it. So I hope they are more protective of the Incredibles brand. I hope they protect it. I hope they value it. And I hope they don't cheapen it by putting out some cheap cartoons. I really don't. I want them to keep it on the big screen, given the treatment and the respect that that property deserves. So is it possible? Sure, it's possible. But it would be really, I think, very sad and disappointing if they did. I think it would just cheapen the property. It would cheapen the brand. And I hope they don't do that. So that's me keeping my fingers crossed that they don't. KW Garrett writes, and we only got a couple minutes left here, guys. KW Garrett writes, if I max out AMC $20 A-List a month at $9 per ticket, that's $108 in tickets, and that's assuming no IMAX. How is AMC plan any less reckless than MoviePass? Well, there's a couple of ways. There's a number of ways. First things first. Like you just pointed out, their tickets are $9 a ticket. When I was using MoviePass to buy a ticket at AMC, it was costing MoviePass $15 a ticket. So right there, it's almost doubly. It almost doubles its value for AMC. It's almost doubly more sustainable. Secondly, they're charging double the cost that MoviePass does. So that's double value on top of double value right there. So it's already, the AMC thing, just on that basis alone, is 4 times more sustainable than MoviePass is. You put on top of that AMC is in control now of the narrative. That brings a lot of value. They can now tie in their A-listers with certain deals on concessions and whatever to drive more and more people who come in the doors of the theater, drive those people to the concession stands. That generates more money. There's another way it becomes far more sustainable. On every single level, AMC's proposal here is far more sustainable than MoviePass. Look, let's put it this way. If I went to one movie a month with MoviePass at the AMC Burbank 16, right? One movie a month. That movie would have cost MoviePass $15. And I'm only paying them $5 or $10. So by just me seeing one movie, MoviePass is losing money. If I go to see one movie on the AMC plan, they're still making money off me. If I go to see 2 movies on the AMC plan, understanding that they're valuing those tickets at $9 a piece, they're still making money on me. So 2 movies, AMC's making money on me. 1 movie, MoviePass is losing $5 on me. Can you see the difference? It's so radically different. And now look, AMC's pass is going to work on the same foundational understanding of any membership plan. Like your local gym, right? Your local gym charges, well, argument's sake, let's say $30 a month, right? And they get probably 5,000 members. Your gym is not big enough to house 5,000 members. You can't have a gym with 5,000 members. You can't do it. But what do? They base that pricing on the fact that they understand that a bunch of people are going to come every day, but a whole bunch of people are going to come maybe once or twice every 2 or 3 months. It's like Netflix. Netflix had, get 6 DVDs mailed to you for this price. They made their money off understanding that most people are probably going to use it once a month or whatever. Whereas, yeah, there will be a small select group of people who use it like 30 times a month, but they're going to make their money on the people who get the plan and then just kind of use it once or twice a month. And that's where they're going to make their money. With MoviePass, I just use my MoviePass card one time. They're already losing money on me. AMC's plan, I can use it twice and they're still making money on me. And that doesn't even count all the stuff about being in control of their own ecosphere. It doesn't even count in the fact that they can now tie in those deals with concession stand deals to drive me more to the concession stand, which is where they'll make even more revenue off me. That wasn't the case with MoviePass. Just in every way, shape, or form, this AMC deal for AMC is about 4 to 5 times more sustainable than the MoviePass one does. Again, it's oversimplifying it, but again, just do the simple math. On MoviePass's plan, if I go to 1 movie, MoviePass is losing money. Under the AMC plan, I go to 2 movies and AMC is still making money. It's not rocket science. It's 4 or 5 times more sustainable. So, and the fact that they're actually in control of it and can tie it into more deals, more promotions, more things tied in with the concession stands, more future plans, all that kind of stuff. They're in control of the whole ecosphere now. Whereas MoviePass could just get you a movie ticket and still lose money. So yeah, it's a night and day difference, KW. Night and day difference, completely. Darth Impact. Oops, there was another jump. Sorry, guys. Where'd Darth Impact go? There he is. Darth Impact writes, just because, John, you demand... Oh, thank you so much, Darth Impact. That's really nice of you, Darth, just sending in support for the channel. Thank you so much, Darth. I appreciate that a lot, man. You demand. I appreciate that. Murray Reich writes, Universal's biggest movie IP. Probably Fast and the Furious, I'm going to guess. Now, you can make an argument that the Jurassic Park movies have made more, especially the last 2, have made more money, but like with the ongoing series, they can crank out, if they wanted to, they can crank out a new Fast and Furious movie or a Fast and Furious spinoff every 1 to 2 years. Yeah, they can't do that with Jurassic World. So I'll probably, I mean, there's no right or wrong answer here. I will probably lean towards that Fast and Furious is probably their biggest IP right now. That's the way I'll look at it. But I mean, you wouldn't be wrong to say Jurassic World. I just think the fact that you can crank out one of these Fast and Furious movies every 1 to 2 years and their spin-offs and all this kind of stuff, it makes it a little bit more lucrative of a property. So I'm going to go with Fast and Furious. Okay, just got like 2 minutes left here, guys. Murray Reich writes, over under 60% MoviePass is gone by January. Over, I won't say 100%, but I'll take over 60%. I don't even think it's going to still be around in November. I'll be honest with you. I think it's going to be gone by November. The company can only take hemorrhage money for so long. Chris Martin writes, canceled my Cinemia subscription yesterday. Can't wait to start my AMC Stubs A-List membership now. I love the perks with the AMC membership. Also saved myself $194. Yay. Yeah, I mean, it's fantastic. I mean, and we're overlooking that with this A-List thing, you get discounts at the concession stand. Now, it's the same discounts I already get with the Stubs membership, but a lot of people don't have Stubs membership. But with the Stubs membership, on top of the regular discounts, right, you get free upgrades with your soda and popcorn. Now, I always get soda and popcorn. Now, you may not be like me, so maybe it's not as big of a deal for you. But for somebody like me that I do order soda and popcorn like every single time, instead of ordering, like say I want a large popcorn and a large soda. Okay, I just order a medium popcorn and a medium soda. And they upgrade both of those for free. That saves me like $2 every single time I go to the site. You're saving me about $1.10 on the upgrade from medium popcorn to large popcorn, and you're saving me about $1 to $1.10 on upgrading from a medium soda to large soda. But every time I go to the movies, I'm saving another $2. That's $2 more in my wallet every single time. You go to the movies 50 times this year, that's $100 just in upgrade costs. That's also a lot of popcorn that you're eating, and not so good for your health, but hey, you only live once. So Yeah, so it's the other benefits as well. It's not just the movie tickets. And it's not just being able to see movies in Prime and IMAX and 3D. And it's not just being able to reserve them online in advance, up to 3 reservations at a time. It's not just all, it's also the other benefits of like the concession stands. It's a holistic thing, something MoviePass couldn't do. It's a more holistic approach to it. And I think we're going to see Regal come out with something strong too. I think we're going to see Regal, because remember, Regal's now owned by Cineworld, which has had a movie membership pass for like a decade in Europe. So you know Regal's going to come out with something strong too. Maybe even better than AMC's thing. Let's keep our eyes on it. Let's see here. Harry T writes, thoughts on Fallen Kingdom's success in the box office? I mean, it's outstanding. It's outstanding. Clearly not as big of a hit as the first Jurassic World was, but that one so overperformed, it's crazy. But, yeah, I mean, that's what I said, dudes. I said I underestimated when the first Jurassic World came out. And I said, even though I can't see why it would make a whole ton of money, I am not going to shortchange Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. I think it's going to be huge. Now, I thought it was going to be, I didn't really think it was going to be the biggest hit of the summer, but I said, hey, I doubted it before. I'm not going to doubt it again. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom is going to be the biggest hit of the summer, understanding that Infinity War is technically not a summer movie. So I was like, okay, it's going to be the biggest hit of the summer. Clearly, that's not the case. Incredibles 2 is going to be the biggest hit of the summer. But yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing the success that they've had with that. So good on them. Congratulations. And like I said, I didn't think it was great, but I had fun with it. I thought it was an entertaining movie. I think Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom is the second best Jurassic Park movie. Again, that's not saying much because none of the Jurassic Park sequels have been all that good. But out of all those films that aren't that good, I think Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom is the best out of them. Philip Dax writes, Calvin and Hobbes movie, how would you do it? Oh, that's an hour-long discussion, Philip. I mean, I would definitely do it animated. That's as far as I can go. But, I mean, as far as getting into the philosophy of it, how would you handle the characters, blah, blah, that's like an hour-long discussion. Not something I can just answer in 30 seconds here. But I do know that I would not do it live action. Because no kid will look like the way we imagine Calvin looking like. So just draw him as Calvin. Just do it animated. So that's about as far as I would go. But I wouldn't even want it unless Bill Watterson was involved. I mean, Bill Watterson, the creator of Calvin and Hobbes, de facto, bar none, no questions asked, is the greatest comic strip of all time. And that was all because of Bill Watterson. And I would absolutely want his involvement. And don't get me wrong, if Bill Watterson sold the rights to Calvin and Hobbes and, you know, Lionsgate announced that they were doing an animated film of Calvin and Hobbes, without Bill Watterson, I'd still see it and I'd still be excited for it. But if I was a movie exec, I'm like, I'm only doing this if I can get Bill Watterson involved as a producer. To oversee everything, to give approval to everything. Don't make him write the script, but like give him approval on everything. That's how I would do it, personally. Let's see. Leader of Bats writes, are video games as good a story medium as movies? No. No. There are a few video games that tell some pretty good stories, but they're rare. They're rare that they can stand on their own as pure story mediums. They work good because our expectations are drastically lowered. Like when we're approaching a game, our expectations of a game narrative is drastically lowered than it is when we're going into a movie, which is a drastically heightened expectation. We have the top expectations when we go in to watch a movie as far as the narrative story goes. Gameplay doesn't. Now, don't get mad at me if you're a heavy-duty gamer. Games are for gameplay. They're not designed for that, and that's fine. When you can build it... Now, you get the rare exception, like God of War, like the last... Uncharted game. There are a few rare exceptions. Are they as good of a medium for storytelling as movies? No, because that medium is meant for gameplay. And you can try to work in a decent story, but your focus is always on the gameplay. And well, it should. Is there an exception here and there? Absolutely there is. But no, games are nowhere near as good of a storytelling medium as movies themselves, which exclusively 100% focus on the storytelling. That's the 100% focus of a movie, is telling their story. That's it. There is no other focus. Video games, the vast majority of your attention is on making good gameplay, make it an immersive game. But no, it's night and day, and I will debate and successfully, soundly defeat anybody who tries to debate me on an open platform about the merits of that. But they're two different things. I'm not saying movies are better than games. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just simply saying, clearly, the one medium, which is all 100% about story, and the other medium is mostly about gameplay, and they try to work in some really good story with it. Well, clearly, this one's going to be better. If you're just talking about storytelling, this one's better at storytelling. Just the way it is. Patrick Conway writes, First talking with red lights over New York reading 2018. I cannot interpret that. I have no idea what you're talking about, Patrick. Sorry about that. Ben Kenobi writes, okay, you know what, guys? I'm just going to, do not send in any more questions, guys. I'm right near the end here. We're already at an hour, but I'll go a little bit long. I'm just going to fly through these last few ones quick. Ben Kenobi writes, hell of a Reverend Campea, preach about theater. That's right. Let me get up on my pulpit and preach. Thanks, Ben Kenobi. Patrick writes, also hope Elektra's alive. Way prefer her to Karen. Oh, yeah. I think you got to have Elektra. Obviously, Elektra and Daredevil were both alive after the end events of Defenders. I think they're both alive. You got to bring her back. I'm with you on that 100%. Race Reactor Gaming writes, if you had to pick which Tim Burton movie would you want a sequel to? Personally, Beetlejuice would be mine. Now, I'll be honest with you, I've never been interested in a Beetlejuice movie. I would be, probably my favorite Tim Burton movie is one that, and I'm not a Tim Burton fan, but my favorite Tim Burton movie is probably one that Tim Burton fans don't like, which is I really liked his incarnation of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I'm not saying it's one of the greatest movies ever or anything like that, but I quite liked it. I'd like to see a continuation of that, personally, if I had to pick one. Hector Jeter writes, now I can use my AMC rewards towards popcorn and drinks. Yes, sir, you can, and not have to worry about using it on movie tickets. Alex Spur writes, thoughts on the Gremlins reboot coming soon? I'll believe it when I see it. They've been talking about a Gremlins remake, reboot, sequel, requel, whatever. They've been talking about that for so many years. I am squarely sitting in the, and I know they got Columbus is apparently working on it and all this kind of stuff, but I am so squarely in the I'll believe it when I see it mindset for that movie. It's not even funny. Me All Day writes, if you could give one film that failed at the box office another chance at theaters, which would you choose? John Carter, which should have been called John Carter of Mars. That is a great sci-fi movie, and nobody went to go see it because they totally butchered. It only made like $200-something million, lost a ton of money. It's a great movie, and they totally butchered the marketing of it. I would put that out again, retitle it back to John Carter of Mars, not just John Carter. It's like, what is this, a lawyer movie? I'd call it John Carter of Mars, have a completely different marketing campaign for it, and give it a total another shot. Stephen Miller writes, you said MoviePass will be delisted from NASDAQ. Have you considered their reverse stock split option? I don't get into that stuff very much, to be honest with you. Plus, I think so many people are now betting on its demise that I don't know that there's going to be a lot of value there in that. So just kind of the way I see it. But look, they can avoid being delisted if they can get their stock back up to over $1. I just don't see that happening. I don't see how their value goes up at this point. I mean, first of all, even if AMC and Regal and Alamo Drafthouse, even if they weren't doing their own thing, I don't see how MoviePass ever gets their stock to go up. Their stock has been doing nothing but this, $38 to 33 cents. And now with Alamo Drafthouse, and now with AMC, and pretty soon Regal, and with Cinemark, what investor is going to think they're a good option right now? So I think everybody's betting on their demise. So yeah, let's not pretend I'm a stock market analyst and that I really know the market all that kind of well, because I don't. I'm auteur amateur at best, at the very best. All right, guys. I think that's all. That's everything. We got through all the questions today. That will do it for me for today's installment of Open Mic, guys. Thanks so much for being here and being a part of this. Always fun to sit around with a bunch of digital friends talking about our favorite things in the world of movies. I'm glad you guys were here. Don't forget, guys, tomorrow morning, the John Campea Show comes back. Make sure you join us for that. Probably play a little bit of Warcraft later tonight if Ann and I don't head out to a movie. We'll have to see. Maybe I'll play some Warcraft later. Maybe I won't. I'll let you guys. Just keep your eye on your notifications to see if I jump on there. Guys, thanks so much for being here. And honestly, so much for supporting this show. You know, and the crazy thing is, a lot of you guys who send in these questions are also Patreon supporters. So you doubly support this show. That's the only way this thing can stay on the line. You guys have seen in the news and everything like that, that YouTube ad rates have gone through the gutter. It's really hard. People aren't making any money on YouTube and stuff like that. And I've got employees, like I got Jonathan, I got Ray, but you guys are the ones who keep these shows on. And through being Patreon supporters, through donating, using super chats, you're contributing content by asking great questions. You're contributing finances to keep us going by using that method. And I'm just really grateful to you guys. And I hope that what we're bringing to you, what myself and Jonathan and Ray are bringing to you guys is enlightening your day and making you have better days and bringing you some fun and all that kind of stuff. So I hope it's been worth it. But again, guys, I can't even put into words the amount of gratitude I have for all of your support. Thank you so much. And I hope you're getting something good out of it along the way. Anyway, guys, that'll do it for me. Thanks so much for joining me. My name's John Campea. And until the next video, bye-bye.